All right, I wanted to talk about a topic that I covered last night while I was streaming, but I want to talk about it a little bit more in detail here. It's about auditions. Now, apparently, and I was surprised by this, there are several channels out there that are like, hey, come audition for my project. And that's cool and everything, but they're like, it's just a video of like this character, I want this type of voice, and that's it. There's no lines to read or anything like that. And apparently, I don't know if this is the process. I can only guess at it. But the intention seems to be, hey, say you want to do it, come here and record. And apparently, they're trying to record your voice with their software. Um, I want to get this out there just in case people don't know. I'm not trying to be mean. It's helpful information I want to provide in case people don't know. You, as the director, should not record other people's recordings. Audacity is a free program. I'm recording on it right now. Anybody can do it and at least have a decent quality mic. No one should be recording off of webcam or off of like one of those old school like stick looking mics or a headset. The quality is going to be terrible. Get, at the very least, the low end is just get yourself like a snowball mic. They're like $50, not that big of a deal. I know that pandemic times are tough, but that's like the low end. I would prefer getting at least a Yeti mic because then you can mess with your settings and change your gain. That's important. But I digress. All right. So I wanted to take a minute to talk about auditions specifically. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so this is our audition page from episode 7 of Slime. Now, here's the thing. When you put a video up that says we're auditioning, if you contact voice actors that are of, I won't necessarily say a professional level, but of a caliber of a certain caliber where they have like a decent sounding microphone and they've done auditions and things like that, and they're actually serious about original projects or getting into the biz, things like that, and you roll into those circles with this, it's not going to look very professional on your end. And I know it's not very intentional, and there will be some people that are going to troll, but at the same time there's going to be a lot of people that are going to try and help you. Guys, I can't state this enough, having worked in the acting scene on film, on stage, and behind the microphone. Voice actors are probably the most welcoming community out of all the communities. Now, mostly my experience with a lot of voice actors has either been in parody stuff or in the professional commercial version of voice acting, like doing commercial stuff. But I've not had really too many bad experiences with voice actors. So, yeah. All right. Things that are kind of a must for an actual audition. Okay. Brief description of how you would like your information to be sent, at what kind of caliber, when the deadline is for your auditions, where to send your auditions, things like that. Specifically, we had to set up a Discord link because the email wasn't working. We weren't getting all the emails that were being sent through. So we had to do a workaround. And of course, we put the deadline for, September 30th right here. And that was when the deadlines were for that. And then we show a picture of the character. So you get this picture right here. And then we give a brief description. So we wanted a young adult, early 20s, low mid voice, a bit full of himself in a regal way. And to be fair, this is an issue on my end. 100% an issue on my end. There are several characters in here that when I was listening to the auditions that I gave, I realized I wasn't specific enough in where I wanted the voice to be placed. And I didn't hold that against any of my actors. I contacted them back and was like, hey, you've got like the kind of voice type that we're looking for, but you're not quite a match. So I want you to come back and do it with, I want you to come back and we'll work on the voice, because it was my fault that there was not an accurate enough description for what I wanted. So again, it's one of those things where I have to take responsibility on myself for not putting enough detail in there, and that's an important key here, and a good lesson for anybody out there is try to be as detailed with how you want the voice to sound, what kind of personality they have, things like that. It's very important. All right. And then this is kind of an outlier because Gabiru is very much a main character. So I put a bunch of lines in there. The more apt example would be like Hiryu here. He is the one in the dorky looking helmet on the left. Yeah. And so, we get all that. And then, why is this? Okay. It's not different, is it? It just looks different. Okay, well, anyway, 3 lines, and that's it. It's just 3 lines. You don't have to put an entire script out. You just put 3 lines, and then that's that. So, name of the character, picture, brief description of voice type, like you want a low mid voice. He's about in his 40s, so it should sound old but not elderly, So that's kind of how we were going with that. And then a brief description of his personality so people can kind of know where to go with the voice. And then give him a brief description of lines. Now, my stuff, I have like stuff highlighted in blue to kind of give a little bit of direction. So this is voice direction. And I copied these directly from the script. So if you see something highlighted in orange, that's actually editor. Those are notes for our editor. And the blue text is direction notes for the voice actors. That's just my particular style. You don't have to copy that if you don't want. But that's how it is. That's how I do it. And we did it for several. And this is just for like background characters for the episode. That's not even like the main cast or anything. But yeah, this is kind of the basics of putting together an audition. Like I said, I looked at some of the videos on YouTube. They're like voice actors wanted, and it's literally just here's this character. I want this kind, and half the time it's just straight out I want a female, and it's like must be female, and there's no description of the character. Even if it's a fan dub, you've changed the personalities slightly. And keep in mind that some people may want to voice for your project that have not seen the original source material. So, a brief description is welcome, as is just a couple of lines for them to read through, because there may be a lot of people that want to voice the same character, and then you're going to be put in the difficult position of having to choose. And boy, I can tell you, that's not going to be as fun as you think. All right, especially if they're all good. But yeah, I hope this helps. This was put up to be informative to anybody that does these. So if you would like to share this around to any people who are hoping to hold auditions, again, this is my way to do it. I use Google Drive, not necessarily Casting Club Call, but you can basically copy and paste a bunch of this stuff over to CCC if you want. It's not overly difficult, but it's a thing. They ask you to give a brief description of your project, and then you need to put out like this. All this information is definitely required. People need to know where to contact you and where to send their auditions, and that's essentially also the deadline date is very important. How you want it turned in. For auditions, we typically do MP3, but and I even put this in here because auditions, if you do them as MP3, they're compressed, so they'll take up less space on your computer. But when we actually get to recording, but if cast, we will use WAV for actual recordings because we need it to be uncompressed when we start going through and working on the audio and everything. So just important tips of the trade to kind of know if you're unfamiliar with them. And yeah, that's everything, guys. Thank you so much. And I hope this helps. And once again, if there is a friend of yours that is working on a project similar to this, then please get in touch with them and show them this. Hopefully it helps. All right. Bye, everybody.